Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening live to Renaissance Relationship Therapy with Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti.
Good evening, Source Nation. I am your host, Tem'ti, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Renaissance Relationship Therapy, the show that gives you the relationship view you never knew, and it's a view that has the power to change everything. Now, we got a great show for you tonight. Talking about a lot of good things, but I just wanted to start off by saying, we're talking about matchmaking, okay? And for many singles, it's easy to get a date, whether you're at the store or, on the public transport. It's easy to get a date. Walk up to somebody, start talking, go to a bar, whatever. But it can be very difficult to find someone with whom you have real chemistry and long-term compatibility. See, finding people isn't the issue, the compatibility. And, dating takes a lot of time, especially when you are looking for something serious. There's a lot of successful individuals that we think, they can have anyone they want. They got money, they got looks, they got success, but they still have the same problems. When you're trying to find somebody who really is on your wavelength, someone you can synchronize with, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And for that reason, many people, like your actors, your ballers, your celebrities and high rollers, they turn to the services of professional matchmakers. So now, should you reignite your love life by hiring a matchmaker? Coming up in the show, we will be discussing, could this be the right time for you to use a matchmaker? There's never been a better time where matchmakers have been so prolific and affordable for the regular person. So, these are real options now that a lot of people are considering, and I wanted to bring it to your attention if you weren't aware of that. So joining us in that discussion will be professional matchmaker Jasmine D. Turner, and she is the owner and founder of blackmatchmade.com. And they are an elite matchmaking service for black professionals. In fact, she's assisted in over 200 matches of black professional singles. So she has some real sage advice on how to recognize the signs that it's time you need a matchmaker. And some of these signs may just surprise you. You could be more ready than you really think. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming up later on in the show. So, Source Nation, could this be the right time for you to use a matchmaker? Hear from our special coach, Jasmine V. Turner. And we'll also have before Jasmine comes on, we'll have a special co-host in the house who's passing through and joining in on the conversation. Stay tuned and find out who she is after the break. Okay? Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Stay tuned, Source Nation. You're listening live to Renaissance Relationship Therapy with Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti.
Source Radio Network is just one of the many platforms that is used to fulfill dreams of our listeners and create a purpose that will impact the lives of our communities, cities, and the world. It is often said that great things will happen when a group of driven people work together to accomplish one goal. We're giving people the opportunity to have a voice, translate words that haven't been heard, and paint pictures that no one has seen. Source Radio Network is fueling your life's purpose. How can you listen? www.blogtalkradio.com/Source Radio.
Are you burdened with unsatisfying emotional, spiritual, or mental relationships? Where and how do you start to fix everything? Renaissance Relationship Therapy with Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti is the relationship view you never knew. Join Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti every Sunday with special guests, including you, that will inspire, enlighten, change, and even surprise you on what you thought about your relationship. If you're ready to go there, then Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti is already waiting. Renaissance Relationship Therapy with Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti is the relationship view you never knew, and the one that is going to change everything.
Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening live to Renaissance Relationship Therapy with Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti.
Source Nation, we are back with Renaissance Relationship Therapy. I'm your host, Tem'ti Sahura, and we will be talking to professional matchmaker Jasmine Turner out of Chicago a little later on during the show. Got something really special planned for that. But first, let me introduce my co-host for this part of our conversation. She's my real true friend and an even better friend of the show. Her name is Stacy Harper, and she has a real story and a voice that creates action everywhere she goes. You know, and me and her, we're always going back and forth talking about relationships and why some folks need to find better matches in their partners. So it was fitting to bring her on the show to actually discuss the problems first, you know, when it comes to matching, you know, and then, you know, Jasmine comes in and fills up the gaps with the solution in the second part of the show. So I know she's here around somewhere. Stacy, you there? Where you hiding?
I'm here. What's up, Source Nation? I'm here. I just wanted you to continue to go on and on about me. You know, I just wanted to listen to that some more. I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I mean, there's never too much I can say. You know, there's so much that you've done. You've been on the show like 50 times already. But for those who like aren't too aware of you and what you've done, just give us a quick recap of who Stacy Harper is.
Oh, I guess I can do that. So I just want to say thank you, Tim, for allowing me to be on the show. And thank you, Source Nation. You know, it's always a pleasure to kind of give my opinion about life, relationships, and, you know, we just have a great conversation. So I appreciate that, you know, without any pushback. You know, I always have to tell people, hey, it's just my opinion. Don't get mad at me, okay? You know, but with all things being equal, I'm in Arkansas. You know, I've been around, and right now, you know, I have a nonprofit organization called Lighthouse Solutions, and, you know, we've been in business serving the community about 7 years now. And, you know, we have three components to this community service program. We do youth enrichment, which is called Extreme Achievers. We do community development, which is our Trails of Love program. And right now, we are gearing up for our teen workforce development program called Dream Big. So it's a pretty busy month for me, especially me and my sister, because we are focusing more on Dream Big, which is, like I said, the career readiness training program for the teens in the state of Arkansas. We have partnered with Walmart as well as the LPGA tournament that they host every year here. And we are going to be bringing in kids from the state of Arkansas to spend 4 days in Fayetteville. And they're going to be able to play, you know, 18 holes with the golf pros. We're also going to introduce them. Yeah, we're going to also introduce them to executive directors from different companies in the surrounding area. You know, the goal is we just want these kids to be in an environment that they may not be used to. You know, we want to put them in a social setting of really understanding how to grow that business communication, you know, those skills in that area, and just really trying to introduce them to their career path. What is it that you want to do? Sometimes kids don't know because they've never been introduced to it. So with our Dream Big program, like I said, this is our second year where, you know, we intertwine with the LPGA tournament, and the kids just have a great time. They don't have to pay for anything. We pay for it all, you know. The only thing they need to do is show up with a pair of pants, some shoes, and a great personality. So that's what we're doing right now. You know, that's going to be June the 18th through the 22nd. And we're just getting ready for these kids to come in so, you know, they can have a really good experience about how to dream big. And in order for you to dream big, sometimes we may have to introduce that environment to you, you know?
Absolutely. That's I mean, that's some amazing stuff. I don't know how you found the time to come and do this.
I don't know how I did it, but you know what? I love it. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's all about service. It's all about, you know, just speaking the truth and being authentic. And, you know, hopefully you and I can help somebody in this conversation today. You know, I think I'm a comedian too, Seth.
You think you're a comedian too?
Yeah, you know. You know, I'm making a little laughs out of it or whatever. But, you know, that's what we do. But that's what's going on right now is kind of really focusing on Lighthouse Solutions and really trying to get there. You know, the uniqueness about us is that we're mobile. So not only do we do it in Arkansas, I've done it in Maryland, you know, D.C., Virginia, and we serve some of Texas, you know. So we're trying to, you know, do it big. Our motto is think big, do it big, make it happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, some of the things that you mentioned there about, you know, being in the environment where you can grow, authenticity, knowing, you know, your own dreams and your own aims. You know, this actually leads directly into part of the problem that we can have as adults when it comes to making choices in our lives, whether it's like with careers, with what we're doing, or even with, you know, relationships. And, you know, I always tell people that, you know, relationships are actually part of your career. And when we're talking about career, we're literally talking about, you know, the path of your life, the path that your life takes. And having a relationship on board, I mean, if your life path is the career and you are the business, having a relationship is like having a business partner. And if you have the right business partner, of course, you've gone clear. You're head and shoulders above everyone. But if you have the wrong business partner, you know, that can be disastrous. And
yes.
So you know, we do our events. We do our matchmaking events here in Atlanta. You're supposed to come down, Harper.
I know. I'm sorry. You know, I wish I was there. I mean, I know it was good. I know it was good.
No, it really was. You know, a lot of couples getting together, swapping numbers. People look very, very happy, and that was good to see. And for those who don't know, you know, Treo, TREO, is this event. You can read all about it at meetmytypes.com, and it's where we actually analyze couples. We analyze individuals who sign up for the event, and we tell them what personality type they have. And we also tell them that because they are this personality type, they actually go with 4 specific personalities. And we give them questions and tell them that, look, the 4 types of personality that go with you, these people are going to be in the building. They're going to be in the event. But you don't have to, like, come up with any kind of crazy conversation to talk to them. We're going to give you questions that's going to really trigger their personality. But you've got to find them in the crowd. So it's kind of like, you know, like a Easter egg hunt for singles, and, you know, we've had some great results with it. But before the event started, I was talking to, you know, some of the people, you know, just saying hi, thanks for coming, etc. And, you know, they were asking me various questions about, like, you know, why do I need to know my type? Why is this important? And, you know, I was telling them that knowing your type is like you knowing exactly what your skill set is, you know. And if you know what your skill set is, just like in a job, if an employer asks you, well, why do we want to hire you? You're not going to say, well, because you're supposed to. You're not going to say that. You're going to say,
well, some people do. Some people do. I promise you. I can attest to that. I'm telling you, I've been on that side.
Do they get the jobs when they do that?
I mean, okay, so when they do it, you know, so why should we hire you? You know, and they're like, I mean, because I'm good. You're supposed to. We laugh and we look at that person like, come on now, you got to give us a little more. Did you do any research on yourself? What do you know about yourself? So, like what you're saying, it's the same thing as being in a relationship. When you're coming to the table in an interview, know who you are. But there's so many people out there in the world, and I'm guilty of it, but I had to learn. When you know better, you do better, you know, so.
Yeah.
Know who you are.
It's deep. And, of course, you put it out there to everyone that, well, what's more important to you, a relationship or your job, or your relationship or money? And then, of course, they're going to say, well, people are more important than my job. And it's like, but yet, you'll probably prepare more for your job than you will prepare for your relationship.
But you know what? People need to be real, too, and that's what we talk about. I mean, it took me a long time to say, you know what, I'm just going to speak the truth. At the end of the day, I really don't care what another person thinks of me. I just need to be honest, okay? So if you say, hey, do you prefer a relationship? Do you prefer your job? Or do you prefer money? Be honest with yourself and say, you know what, at this point in time, I prefer money. Just be honest, because if you get into a relationship, if you tell a dude, if I come up to you and you're like, so, what's going on? What do you prefer, in a relationship? Are you into your job right now? Are you into making that money? Are you just looking to be with someone in a fulfilling relationship? If I tell you, you know what, I just want to be in that fulfilling relationship right now. And in the back of my mind, the truth is, no, I'm really all about making that money and I'm into my job. Guess what? You're going to go into the relationship with me, and I'm going to show you another side in 2 weeks. Tops. It's done. It's over.
It's going to be a problem.
I can't stand you.
Absolutely. It's
you can't stand me.
And I don't know if it's a whole romantic conditioning that, people think, well, if you just like someone and they like you, that's enough. That's enough to make the relationship happen and everything is going to fall into place. But like anything, relationships are they're a social contract. A relationship is one of the many forms of social contract. And when you bring up the word contract, everyone's thinking, right, you know what? You need organization. You need two parties. You need a broker. You need terms. It's no different in a relationship. That's
absolutely right. Oh my God, yeah.
You got to go into it with that mindset. And I'm going to get back to the contract piece later on. One thing that I did want to bring up, and why this, and kind of like what you said, because people can be about one thing, but essentially just lie about it and say, no, I'm not about the money. I want to be in a relationship, or I'm not about, my sports or my hobby. I'm ready for a relationship. And really look at you and give you the puppy dog eyes, and you're going to think, oh, they're so serious. But if you don't question them, if you don't really take the time out to ask the hard questions, it could turn out real horrible. And remember a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago now, in California, San Bernardino, you had that woman and that man. They were friends for 11 years. Do you think you know somebody, after a while like that? And then they eventually, I'm not sure if it was 11 years or 4 years. Either way, there was a significant period of time.
It was a long time.
They had known each other. And dude was like, look, man, come on. Let's be together. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. And she eventually said yes. And 4 months later, or was it 2 months later, she's dead. And he's dead. Murder-suicide. Because after getting married to him, she realized this guy is not who I think he is. I want to get out. He's nuts. And he didn't take that too well, and it ended up tragically. And, of course, I'm not speaking like I know the ins and outs of their relationship, but it does speak to the fact that you can safely say, if she had known that he was like this before marrying him, would she have married him? And, of course, we can say no. She wouldn't have. So,
but I think she knew. She knew. I think she knew, and you know what happened. She saw it in the beginning. I saw some things, she felt some things, because women, we have that intuitive spirit. It is very strong, and it can make us raise an eyebrow and be like, something's not right. And I'm pretty sure she felt that, and she felt a lot of some off-balance things happening in the situation, but she looked at it more so of, you know what, I can help him, I can look over it. It's not a big deal. Instead of really addressing the situation, saying, hey, something's off, But, hey, it happened. It happened, and I hate that it happened. But in many situations, already. that person's pretty much going to show you who they are within the first week. That's how quick it is now. Sometimes even at the dinner table when we on a date, you telling me who you are.
But it's whether or not you're in a position to really listen to that inner voice. Do you have that relationship with yourself where when you hear your inner voice, you can trust it and realize, you know what? Something in me is going off, telling me it's a red flag. Am I going to pay attention to that? Or am I going to pay attention to what's happening on the, around me? Like everyone else is with somebody. I need to be with somebody. Let me be with this person. Yeah, they may not be 100%, but I can fix them. No,
true. It's true. It's real talk. I'm not sitting up here saying that, I'm that type of person that will listen to my, intuition and that voice telling me something's not right. It happens. But now we are in situations where, there's a lot of off-keyness going on. And we see it. We got what is called the third eye. And if nobody understands what the third eye is, we are gifted with the third eye. So when you see something and you really want to question it, or you're like, that's not sitting too well with me.
Remember when, what was you talking about? Like, when you know something ain't right, and this is where, if you have that great inner relationship with yourself, you'll listen to your voice. But, for some, it's not like that. But that doesn't mean the signs are not there. That doesn't mean that your inner voice isn't trying to communicate and watch the signs. And we all know how it is, right? You'll have, like, I don't know, like, I'm just making some stuff up now, like green sneakers, right? You'll have green sneakers, green pants, green T-shirt, green hat, everything green. But then you've got like this polka dot bag.
Okay.
And like, okay, you know what? You leave the house or whatever, thinking, okay, I'm the bomb. I look okay. Everything is green, but this bag is polka dot. And something in the back of your mind is going to be like, as soon as you like pull out of your house or whatever, you're going to be like, man, is this bag right? I shouldn't have got this bag. And then you'll go to the mall and you'll see people who have dressed and put themselves together and everything works, including their bag. And you're going to start realizing that this bag really doesn't go with what I'm wearing. And, and at some point you just need to admit it that, you know what, I messed up. It looks atrocious. This bag messed up my whole thing. It's not unlike relationships, is it? Where
I should have went with my first mind. Everybody knows. People say that no matter where you are in the world, everyone says, man, I should have went with my first mind. Okay, what is the first mind? You all know what the first mind is. It's that voice. It's that inner voice. It's the third eye. It's the intuitive voice saying, hey, you know what? He may look like a good guy or she may seem like a good woman right now. And, she's giving you all these signs and, she's, he or she can articulate very well and they're telling you everything that you want to hear right now. But during these questions, some things are coming back that really don't make sense right now. It's not in alignment with your lifestyle. And I say that because in order for you to have that conversation with yourself, you have to be in alignment with your life. What is your purpose? What are your non-negotiables? What are your must-haves? You know what I'm saying? So you got to get to a point where you understand you and what you want in your ecosystem.
Right. It's interesting because you're right. The ecosystem, we were just talking about the green outfit. Your ecosystem would be everything in your life that is in harmony, from your job, family, social life, home, career, spirituality. All these things are part of your ecosystem because you're
what type of bed you want in your room. Let's just really be detailed about it. How you want your furniture, what type of furniture you want, the color of your walls. That's your ecosystem. What type of food you want in your refrigerator. That's the real ecosystem. Let's get down to it.
And when you put something in there that doesn't fit, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. And if you're that kind of person that doesn't want to change, it's like, no, I like it. And everyone that comes in, that doesn't go with your house. No, I like it. Even though you damn well know You don't like it. It's ugly. You made a bad choice. It was a poor choice.
Stubborn.
You got it because it was 2 for $1 at the store. But just because it was a cheap deal doesn't mean it was a good deal, you know? And it's like that with people. When we introduce people who don't really fit into our ecosystem, they don't quite sit well. And when they don't sit well, when no one's looking, you're like, all right, they can be out on display. But when people are around, you might find yourself trying to shush them in conversations or not go certain places with them. That's you. That's your higher self acting in a way where you're not really too proud of this person and you're trying to hide them. If you're doing that, at least you're beginning to acknowledge that, you know what, this person doesn't fit in my life. And at that point, you need to think about making a decision. You know, and
make a decision before, you know, it becomes a little bit too sissy. The problem is with us is that, you know, in the people population, and I'm a part of the people population too, okay? I'll break that down one day to you guys. But in the people population, in the people population, you know, we tend to kind of hang on in there because it looks good right now. In the beginning, you know, it's fun. It's fulfilling. We think it's fulfilling, but but you know, it's something that, hey, I'm happy, I'm stressed out on my job, you know, I'm stressed out here and there, and so this person is making me happy right now. But really, that person is not being a bright light in your ecosystem, and it's kind of causing the refrigerator with the food in it that you like to mold because that person probably put some meat in the refrigerator and you don't eat meat.
Right.
So, you know, I'm being comical right now, but at the end of the day, you know, it's real talk. Like, be friends before you jump in the bed with somebody, for real. And I'm having this conversation with a lot of females right now, and I know you are too. Just if you meet somebody, it is okay to say, you know what, let's just hang out. It's okay to question that person. Let that person question you. Okay? Y'all got to find out about each other, because if you just like, you know what, you're delusional and you looking at that person across the table and they're like, man, we're going to have children together. Our kids going to have this type of hair, that type of, I'm going to put my daughter hair in this type of ponytail. We're going to be matching when we go out to the park. It's real talk. Sometimes we are that delusional. You know, you can see yourself standing in front of a big house, but is that person in front of you, big house ready? Has that person ever had a big house before? Does that person want a family? And that's just on the first date.
And so, you know, you're talking about the match. Do they match your ecosystem? Do they come in and blend and complement what you built for your life already? Or are they going to be like a pimple on your face? It turns up and it's like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't go anywhere. I need to remove it. You know, it's uncomfortable. And, you know, before we even get into the matches, because, you know, you start looking at somebody and if they match when you're ready for a match. But you know, asking yourself, am I even ready to be with somebody? That's another big part of it. You know, am I matching in my own life? Okay, I may not have, you know, I may not want somebody else's, you know, part of their ecosystem in mind, but is my ecosystem blending? Is everything in my room together? You know, and that's when we need to ask that all-important question that we don't ask enough. And it's simple. Why? You want a man? You want a woman in your life? Why? Why? And it's not a horrible question. It's not meant to make anybody feel like, oh, you're saying I shouldn't have one. No. It's just know your reasons. Because if you don't know your reasons, then you don't know the point to having one. Which means you're gonna go through all the whole, you know, dating and, you know, romancing, be with somebody, and then when you start getting into the normal grind of relationship life, you're gonna ask yourself, why am I doing this again? Like, why am I putting up with this? You know, why do I have to put up with him coming up my house all hours of the night or calling me all the time? Why am I doing this? Because at some point, all relationships become a drag. At some point.
Right.
But you put up with them because you're getting something beneficial from it. As in, you know, there's something both of you are getting from it that is fulfilling. And if you're not, you really have to ask yourself, why am I here? And I know, Stacy, that you do something called the the 5 whys. And I actually want to do it with everybody. Like, right now, you listen to this show, I just want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. All right? I'm going to give you like 5 seconds to get one, because you're going to want to do this, trust me. But, Stacey, real quick, while everyone's getting their paper and pencils, like I'm at school, like I'm some kind of school.
Right. You know, everybody sit down, get your paper and pencils, okay?
But tell us about, like, I know you did the 5 whys sometime last week. You were doing some presentation. Just tell us the response who was in the room and the response that they had to the, without giving away the ending. What did they think of it?
Okay, so with the 5 whys, I usually do it with people in the workforce. So 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to do it with executives that were within the juvenile detention center environment. You know, so these are people that are all about human service. Okay, so they had their annual conference, right? And, you know, you got executives in there, you got directors over facilities, and you know what? You also had some police officers in there because, you know, we are dealing with the juvenile detention center arena. And so pretty much what it is that when you're dealing with human service and you're dealing with people, the goal is to do what? To help. You know, to try to find out the core root of why you do what you do to get you in the situation in the first place, right? So what I like to do is I like to go in and I just kind of get them to partner up. And, you know, I ask them a simple question, you know, why are you here? Why did you choose this job? And that person will need to answer that question. It's 5 times, right? 5 times that person has to answer the question. If your answers are not in alignment with your purpose, which will lead you to bliss, happiness, satisfaction, I enjoy what I do, then you may need to reevaluate the industry that you're in because you're not even serving yourself a justice. You're not even serving anyone else because you're just here for the money. You're here because no one else would hire you. So when you're dealing with people and you're trying to help people get back on the right path in life and you're trying to share with them, you know, some knowledge that they've never received before, I mean, this will help you. The 5 whys will help you because if it doesn't end up with happiness, joy, bliss, this is my purpose, reevaluate yourself.
It's real talk, and you know, hopefully you've all got your pen and paper now, and it's real simple. Why? Trying to think, what should be the best question? Why do you want to be in a relationship?
So we're talking about relationships right now. So what were some of the, I know you were talking to me about the event the other night and you were asking women, what do you bring to the table? And they couldn't answer it. Do you want to do that one?
Okay. Any question, you can do this with any question, but absolutely, for all the women and men listening right now.
Why do you want to be in a relationship? Let's just keep it simple.
Okay. Why do you want to be in a relationship? Write down your first answer. Why do you want to be in a relationship? And there's no essay. You know, it's just like, this should be a one or two liner. All right? Now, whatever you've written down, I want you to ask why to that. Whatever you've written down, our next question is why? And do that for the 3rd answer and the 4th answer and the 5th answer. Each answer you give, ask why again. So there's a very specific outcome there is a right answer. It's a right answer for you. And what we do is that we can actually verify the answer for you. Because if you go to the website, meetmytypes.com, you know that we also do personality analysis. And we're not talking about you answering a questionnaire so, people can lie and be non-authentic or whatever. No, we're talking about analysis of your core personality from birth. And there's a way your answers are supposed to line up. There's going to be a structure to it, So write those answers down. And what I want you to do when you're finished, send them to me, all right? Email them with your name and your date, time, and place of birth. Email that to me at meet, M-E-E-T, meet@meetmytypes.com. The first 3 people who get theirs in will get a free consultation with me, and I'll break it down about your answers. And you'll see if your answers are in line with what you should actually be focused on. And for everyone else who writes in, you'll get something too. Everyone's a winner, but the consultations are for the first 3 who can get that in. So 5 whys. Why do you want to be in a relationship? Whatever answer you give, ask why again. And then whatever answer you give for the second one, ask why again. And keep them going on 5 times. Email that in. All right? It's a very profound exercise. And it's like I was asking you, Stacy, the response. You had law enforcement there. You had directors there, facilitators. And none of these people have ever had an exercise that was so simple, yet really kind of left some of them speechless. And you think
it was really difficult for people that are in management roles, people that are in situations where they're having to counsel and coach, anyone that comes through the program. They're having to find out, why did you do it? Because when somebody enters into the program, the first thing they see is what they did on paper. You know what I'm saying? So I walk in, Stacy, and I give the judge or I give the director my paper. It's going to say, she has a felony or whatever, assault charges or whatever. That's what you see on paper. But if you take the time to understand, why did you do it? Well, why? If you do it 5 times, I promise you'll get to the core root of why that child did what they did. Do it 5 times. And I told him, I said, look, but if you can't answer your own whys, this may not be the field you need to be in. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person for being in a situation as such, because, at the end of the day, hey, this person was hiring. I got in, it pays really good. I got to take care of my family. But when you're servicing people on a day-to-day basis, please make sure that you understand why you're there. Because if you can't understand why you're there, how can you help anybody else?
How can you? It's impossible to know what is your best foot to put forward, to do something with real heart. And I'm not saying that everyone who cannot answer these questions, should be in the wrong, is going to be in the wrong job. Sometimes you just don't have that inner communication with yourself. You never thought about it. And, it's important to know why you do things. Because we'll even tell our children, why did you go and take the keys to my car and drive and drive without my permission? Why did you do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
We've had kids, regardless of from when they can talk and they do stuff and you ask them, why did you do that? And they tell you they don't know. You know how that feels as a parent. You know how that feels like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with my child? You want them to understand why, because why means they are able to own it. They're able to own the action and be responsible for it. They can do things and know where they went wrong and know how to correct. If you don't know your why in a relationship, if you're not able to have that conversation with yourself, you can do things wrong in the relationship. Yeah, you may not have no malice. You may not be doing it with a bad intent. But if you don't understand how we got here, that means you're doomed to repeat the mistake over and over again.
Right.
So either way, whether
but
you don't know.
But it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It's interesting that you say little kids. Little kids, you ask them a question. So why did you take my keys? Why did you hit that kid? Why did you get into the fight? Why? No, no. I hear a lot of adults say it too. I don't know. That's scary. So if you you kind of sitting in a situation where you dating somebody right now, or you may be interested in someone, it's okay to start asking, but don't go and act like, you in a corporate setting and on your first date, that's the first thing you do. So why are you here on this date? Why? Don't become that person. Just be casual with it. Be sophisticated with those whys. You understand? So don't be that, that hardcore manager that's like, you know what? I'm very task-oriented. I understand my whys, and when we sit down at this table tonight.
And, and if the other person gets frustrated, like, why are you asking me so many questions? See, and this is the interesting thing. At our events, we understand that there are, a certain number of personality types. And there is a personality type called the director, and they are very direct. And you know what? A director may just interview you. And if you're one of the more emotional types, yeah, you're going to take exception. You're going to be like, nah, this ain't no job. I ain't trying to answer all these questions. I just came out to have a good time. But you get other types like the auditor, who is very logical, who may actually respond to the director and be like, you know what, that's a very good question. Here's my answer. Boop, 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 boop. They may even have a resume in their back pocket. That's
true.
The auditor. They are so calculated, So you get different types that will respond to how you talk. That's what you want. You can't spend your life being something you are not just to please somebody. That's not a good match. You don't change your whole room around just to fit one piece. No. You bring the right pieces into your environment. You don't change your environment for one piece. The other way around.
So make sure you understand what you want your environment to consist of. You understand? But it's time to do a self-evaluation on you. And that's in every aspect of your life. Yes, we are talking about relationships, but like Tim said earlier, relationships also tie in with what? Your job. And what you want to do for the rest of your life, and how you deal with people when you're at that 9 to 5, and how you get on with these people. I tell a lot of people, what you do in your personal life will seep over into your business world.
Absolutely.
Okay? So I think right now, everybody's like, you know what? It's the end of the world. I mean, so much stuff going on right now. Man, we got to be safe. That's the key word, and Tim, you said it earlier today on this conversation. Relationships take time, effort, and guess what? We need to make sure that these relationships are safe. We don't want risky people in our ecosystem, because I'm dealing with a lot of women right now that are single mothers, and they are allowing risky things to come into their ecosystem with their babies, just because they need some type of fulfillment and they have not understood their why. So, Tim and I are sitting here talking and, we're laughing and we're passionate about what we're saying. But honestly, if you can take the time out, please write down your 5 whys. Why do you want to be in a relationship? And don't say, because I'm ready. Well, I'm going to question you. Why?
Why?
Well, because I'm ready. Why? We got to go deeper than that. I need to hear some more.
It's true. It's true.
It's not because of... Oh, Tim, tell them. Woman, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
When you were at your event, you were telling me, when you were asking these women, what do you bring to the table? What was their number one response?
I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
it blew me away. It blew me away.
Literally, they didn't know. Even some of the guys went blank. They couldn't say what it was they brought to the table. Now, if you ask them, what do you want on the table when you get there? It's like a whole list, of lines and lines of information about what they want, how they want it, very specific. But yet, none could be very specific or even respond as to what they actually do, to define it. And this is when we talk about value. If you know what you bring to a relationship, and it's something that, well, look, this is my ace. This is my ace card right here. I'm going to place it down here. This is my game changer. That's obviously something that's worth a lot to you. It's valuable to you. You have to present it to somebody in some way, shape, or form so that you can see if they value it too. If they don't value that, then they cannot value you. And that's when it's time to say, you know what, it's been nice, maybe we should just stay friends or however you do it. But getting into a relationship with somebody who doesn't even value your ace card, oh no, that's like just jumping into a fire blind.
Because my ace card is I'm a thinker. Okay, I think through everything. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but I'm a thinker. I'm very empathetic. So when you ask me something, I'm going to think about it at that moment, but I'm going to make sure that I respond with empathy. If you don't understand my empathy, it's going to be a long road right now, okay? Because I'm always going to think that you're making fun of me, I'm too sensitive, and that's not the case. The situation is, yes, I'm an intellect. Yes, I am. I love that word. I'm an intellect. But when I respond to you, no matter what the situation may be, I thought about it. I thought about what's going to happen to the left of me. I thought about what's going to happen to the right, to the front, and to the back of me before I say something to you. And when I say something to you, it's very meaningful. It comes from the heart. It comes from my core. Person that I'm trying to be with does not understand that, then we're going to clash. And I'm going to get upset.
If they don't value it, they don't try to
if you don't value
it, they don't listen to it. It's a huge issue not being validated in your relationship, and we do it all the time.
Well, just understand your level of sophistication that you want with anybody. It doesn't matter if it's someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. It could be your friend. It could be a family member. Just make sure people value.
Social contracts, whether they're, there are relationships, business, personal, emotional, they are all still contracts that need a set of rules. Hey, you are gonna value my stuff. I'm gonna value yours. You're going to
as a parent, right, Tim? As a parent,
right? It's contracts. You have expectations, and they need to be set. And the contract defines how we are going to communicate, how we're going to move forward, what the goal is going to be. So, so I think we covered a lot of bases with the problems. As in, what happens when you don't get the right match, or when you don't take time out to understand if someone's the right match, if they fit in with your ecosystem. It's a huge thing, but we're not going to leave you hanging. We do have a solution coming up at the top of the hour in about 8 minutes or so. But for now, Harper, it's been a great conversation as
it's
been
usual.
An
awesome conversation, yeah.
And of course, you have to come back and co-host at some point. Hopefully, you do that real soon.
Yes, I would love to do that because we could go on and on and on, but that's not the right thing to do. We could do it all day long because this is what we talk about every day, all day. And I'll tell you guys this before I go. Make sure you have a good person in your ecosystem that can give you checks and balances sometimes. Mm-hmm. Because, if you don't have the right person in your life, a really good friend that can say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from, but let me go ahead and kind of check you on some things and put you back on the right path.
Like a mirror. Hold up a mirror to you so you can see yourself for what you really are.
And that's what I have with him. So that's why we can sit here and talk like this, and that's why we have the capability to now understand in order for us to jump into anything with anybody, you got to check yourself first, and you have to be honest.
And if you have good people around you that can serve as that check and balance, because our first checks and balancing comes from our parents. They're the ones, we're not aware of what we're doing. So they tell us, no, you don't need to do that. Oh, no, you need to focus on that. Oh, no, this is how you should do it to be better. That's a check and balance. We know what happens when children don't have parents or a guiding hand or mentors. They can easily go off the rails. And the same thing can happen to us as adults if we don't let anybody close enough to us to understand or bring people into our lives that really don't fit, which means the image they're going to give us back on ourselves is going to be distorted. It's going to be dysfunctional. And we're going to think that's normal. And that's when we start building up bad relationships and carry dysfunction from one relationship into another, because we never had the right functional checks and balances to really be the best that we can be. So it's hugely essential. If you find yourself that person who's always arguing with folks, you may need to consider you got the wrong people in your life, or you have the wrong relationship with yourself, and you're not allowing good opinions, objective opinions about you to come into your life. It's something to think about.
Absolutely. And make sure when you go to a event, a dating event, hopefully you guys will start coming to meet my types, If Tim walks up to you and asks you the question, what do you bring to the table? Please make sure you have some type of answer. Do not come to I can't get that's a pet peeve of mine right now. Do not come to an event as such and say, I don't know. Because guess what? You knew what you was going to wear to the event. You knew how you was going to do your hair. You knew what type of perfume you were going to wear. You even knew how you was going to walk up in there. Okay? You know all those things, but you don't know why, or you don't know what you bring to the table. But Tim can help you out.
All right. Well,
I got to go.
Yeah. No, but thanks so much for coming down. We'll have you back. We're just doing our thing. Source Nation, we've been talking in with Stacy Harper. Let me just take this quick moment to thank our sponsors who have made this show possible. And they are WGLRO.com, Scott Cares Foundation, Urban Grandstand Digital, Meet My Types Matchmaking, Blend to Blend Juice Bar Boutique, Ren Ovations, and New Covenant of Praise Worship Center. Email me at meetmytypes.com, and I will help you evaluate your care. You've been listening to Renaissance Relationship Therapy with me, Life Purpose Coach Tem'ti. Everyone, have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday with a brand new show, brand new topic. It's going to be bumping. Love is all, and all is love. Peace.